nobody would give me the time of day to listen to me about having prolonged symptoms.
It's my 30th birthday, and it's sad that my mind state is I just want to make it to that.
I would say take a breath, because this is going to be a long ride.
And now to new research on the devastating long-term effects some experience with COVID-19. More than 1 million Americans could have symptoms for weeks or even months after contracting the virus.
We recognized fairly early on that there was increasing numbers of patients who just were not getting better, were reporting these symptoms.
This project was so informative about those who have had COVID-19 but are still suffering debilitating health problems after a long haul of feeling ill. The executive producer of the film, Noah Greenspan, has been a wonderful support person, connecting many of these people who feel scared, lonely, and who are still suffering. Lots of really touching interviews, both with patients and healthcare workers, many people breaking down in tears. I think what Noah has done has been amazing for this group of people who really did not know where to go for support. Lots of accurate footage of people suffering in hospitals and at home. This film will be an excellent resource for so many people. I was very touched by the uplifting poetry near the end and the wide variety of signs of people asking for more research, acknowledgement, and help. Well done.
A hard piece to watch, but a very special piece that needs to be seen by many people who still, for some reason, cannot fathom that the idea of COVID is real and that there are millions of people who are dying. And it's just so crazy to me that a lot of people still can't understand that it is a pandemic and that it is a real thing and it's not some made up situation. So this long haul was just so eye-opening in a sense of seeing the perspective of the people who have suffered through COVID and what they are going through and the lasting effects of the symptoms and all of that. So it's kind of crazy to even imagine that. I know a lot of people who haven't had any of the symptoms and are still feeling the struggle. So to have that heightened 10 times is just a thing I don't even know if I could personally do and overcome and just figure out a way of living with it. And it's great to hear that there are people out there who have enough compassion to reach out and to take the first steps into building communities for those who have suffered from COVID. And it's, again, there's just nothing in the rule book about it. There's no like, okay, if this happens, A, B, and C should be doing these things. And there's no one who's really taking the first steps into writing a book about it. We're just making it up along the way. And so it's great that there's so many professionals who realize the scope of what's happening and have decided to figure out ways to help those. And yeah, I just think that this was a eye-opening documentary short situation, and it's important to see, and I feel like a lot of people can benefit from watching it. So thank you for making this, and to everyone who has shared their story, thank you for doing that.
I thought this was a really interesting documentary about the long COVID effects. Really informative, really great to hear the different perspectives. I love the way that we see kind of like the Zoom footage and the in-person footage and just the wide variety, and I thought that was really effective visually. It kept it interesting, and I thought just like the way that everyone told their stories was great for showing the scientific impacts and the emotional impacts that they were facing, and really created empathy, and overall really informative, really interesting. And I personally found it interesting to also find out where the name Long Hauler came from. I like that was included.
Glad that you made the film. It's information that I think everybody should have. There's so much confusion over the subject, and unfortunately it's leading to more people getting sick than should be. So I'm glad that this movie was made. Thank you for that. For the film itself, I thought it was quite very sound. The subject of the documentary was very clearly defined. The different sides of it, I think, were very well exposed. Nice combination of interview subjects, people, experts looking into it, trying to find solutions, combined with people who were suffering this. I thought that the pacing was well done. The way that the problem and the possible solutions and the work involved and all the different aspects, all the different sides of this subject, I thought were introduced at very appropriate moments for us to have a good idea of the scope of the subject and also all the aspects surrounding it and what was going into exploring and trying to find solutions, and the people who are finding ways to address this very troubling and topical subject and problem that we have these days. Well
done. Incredible
Thanks.
film. My best friend is a long hauler, and this really moved me. This film needs to be seen by every human being on the planet, literally. Literally. Every country. It needs to be translated into every language. People need to see this and understand the lasting effects of what COVID has done to some humans, including my best friend. And a lot of people don't believe. He was diagnosed with anxiety. He kept saying that everyone kept telling him he had anxiety. So when people in the film were saying that, I was like, oh my God. Like, I remember when this happened to him. This is a very important film. I want to thank Noah Greenspan in particular and everyone on the team, every single person, from the executive producers to the grips, everybody, for making this, because it is important. It's an important movie. Oh, and then the kids at the end, at the beginning of that sequence right before the credits, where everyone held up a, little poster talking about what they're fighting for. The kids really broke me. That really got me. It's devastating. It's devastating, and I really hope that millions and millions and millions of people get to see this and understand and experience that, an experience that these people are having that none of us who haven't had COVID will ever understand. I just feel for all of them. And thank you for making this movie. Congratulations. It's groundbreaking.